Many people have assumptions, misconceptions, and stereotypes about the South Side of Chicago. However, some Southsiders disagree. Southsiders say the South Side is about camaraderie, family, respect, and dignity. The Chronicle sat down with Columbia College students to get their take on their perception on the South Side of Chicago.
Jade Hardy, 25. Personally, I think that people view it, since they view it in such a negative light, I don't really see the negative light because I live there. But if you're coming from somewhere else and it's not familiar for you, then you might have a different view on it. But when I look at the South Side, I just see like my family. I see a community because I grew up knowing like all of those people that live in my area. But the people that don't know my area, when I say, yeah, I live on the South Side, they be like, oh, you have to hide your stuff, right? I'll be like, no. A lot of that happens, but you have to really think about it because that happens everywhere. It's not just in one area of Chicago. It's happening in other areas too. It's just the way that people's minds have been conditioned to think. But no, there are shootings, but there's shootings on the west side. There's shootings on the north side too. So it's not really different from anywhere else.
Cody Healy. I'm 19. It is a little unsettling, I guess, but at the same time, there's awesome people over there. I have friends over there. I go to shows there all the time, and there's like a lot of really cool people there. And people don't think about that. They just think about what they hear crime-wise, opposed to like everyone else down there. So I think it has a worse rep than it needs to in Chicago. I think Chicago in itself kind of just holds a bad rep.
My name's Liz Davidson, and my major is cinema arts and science. I think it's just a beautiful place for the community because nobody wants to talk, nobody wants to be in a happy place. They are just scared of anybody who can, when are they going to be the next victim? So I really don't visit to the south side. I just kind of stay where I think the community is happy and lots of people are nice, and you don't have to worry about people getting shot.
Joseph Phillips, 36, Chicago, Illinois, South Side, High Park. Well, if you grew up on the north side, a lot of times the perception is, it's a high crime rate, which is true statistically. Second, a lot of times, if you grew up on the north side versus the south side, it's very segregated. So it's kind of like, ethnicity differences. And then third, there's a class difference also. So those are three determining factors when it comes from the north side looking at the south side. With all that being said, my perception of the south side is you wouldn't know unless you lived on the south side, number one. Then number two, yeah, there are some high crime areas in the south side, but everybody's not killing each other. There's some middle class individuals that live on the south side that are running businesses. It has produced the most African American millionaires, teachers, we produce principals, we produce business owners that this country has ever seen. Everybody has their criminals, everybody has their bad ones.
Joe Carballo. I think you think about a lot of things. First thing that comes to mind is music and sports. The amount of great music that has came out of the South Side, just amazing athletes. I also think that you think of, just unfortunately the crime that goes down there.
I'm Clay Hurlbutt from Chicago, Illinois. I think they just think, it's very violent, everybody gets shot there. I think people generalize about Chicago in general like that don't know the history and how it became the way it is. As Joe said, I think of a lot of great music and just art that's coming out there. I think a lot of great athletes. I think the south side of Chicago has produced about as many great basketball players in a small region as anywhere in the world.
Are you guys afraid to go to the south side?
No.
Not at all.
I don't ever have a reason to go to the south side. There's nothing there for me.
Ray Jones, 29, from Chicago, Illinois. The south side ain't no different than the west side, east side, north side. It's just most popular area for crime and history of the city. All the way dating back to the Al Capone, from 33rd to 43rd, that's where the mayor stayed. 33rd to 47th. That's where the ex-senator, now President Barack Obama stayed. It's kind of utter disrespectful because unless you've been there, I don't feel you should have anything to say about it. South side of Chicago, man, it's the most diverse part of the city. Everybody don't gang bang. Everybody don't rob and steal. I live in Inglewood. That's the murder capital of the city. But, you know, the neighborhood, the children, they all want to go to school. So I see parents, grandparents, nieces and nephews taking young children to school every single day. So everybody is not gang banging. Everybody is not robbing and stealing. The point where we're at right now in Inglewood, I can speak for myself, is that we're trying to build camaraderie. We're trying to build our community back. You know what I'm saying? Because we're tired of people thinking this certain way. White people are coming to live. They're coming to build properties there. What you think is Southside Chicago, I guarantee if you go there, it'll show you totally different.